persisting and ultimately overcoming those barriers. It is experience that can give a person a common touch and a sense of compassion, an understanding of how the world works and how ordinary people live. And that is why it is a necessary ingredient in the kind of justice we need on the Supreme Court. The White House also noted that Sotomayor would serve as an outstanding role model of aspiration, discipline, commitment, intellectual prowess, and integrity for her ascent to the federal bench from an upbringing in a South Bronx housing project. Sotomayor's parents hailed from Puerto Rico. They left the island during World War II and eventually settled in New York City, where Sonia was born. Her father died when she was 9 years old, and she was raised by her single mother in the public housing projects of the South Bronx. Though she dreamed, as a child, of one day becoming a police detective, her affliction with type 1 diabetes forestalled that possibility. Through hard work and perseverance at her studies, Sotomayor managed to escape the projects at age 18, attending Ivy League institutions of higher education, earning a BA from Princeton University and a JD from Yale University Law School. Her educational pedigree alone suggests Sotomayor was among the best and brightest of her generation. Sotomayor's professional experience was equally impressive. Following law school, she worked in both the public and private sectors, as a criminal prosecutor in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and as a corporate lawyer in private practice. It was her judicial experience, however, that prompted some to pronounce Sotomayor the best qualified appointee to be nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court. If confirmed, Sotomayor would become the only individual to have served as a U.S. District Court judge, appointed by President George H.W. Bush to the Southern District of New York, a U.S. Court of Appeals judge, appointed by President Bill Clinton to the Second Circuit, and ultimately a Supreme Court justice. It seemed no arguments could be made against Sotomayor concerning her qualifications. But the discussion surrounding Sotomayor's appointment did not center on any aspect of her distinguished career. Instead, Democrats and Republicans alike focused mainly on her personal characteristics. First, there was Sotomayor's ethnicity. Republicans had tried, during the George W. Bush administration, to name the first Hispanic American to the Supreme Court, and now the Democrats were upstaging them. Both parties coveted the honor of making the first Latino appointment to the High Court as part of a political strategy to secure long-term electoral support from this fast-growing ethnic population. Second, there was Sotomayor's gender. In 2006, when President Bush had replaced Justice Sandra Day O'Connor with a white man, Samuel Alito, the number of women on the court dropped to 1. By appointing Sotomayor, Obama would be able to restore the number of women on the court to 2. Democrats and affiliated interest groups lauded the president for appointing a highly qualified Latina. Many Hispanic leaders expressed great pride in the Sotomayor nomination, a feeling widely shared throughout Hispanic communities, not only among political elites. Sotomayor, some suggested, could transform Hispanic Americans' opinions about the U.S. government by showing that its halls of power are open to people like them. Maria Cardona, a founding member of Hispanics for a Fair Judiciary, stated, "President Obama has demonstrated bold leadership in nominating the first Hispanic to the Supreme Court. Justice Sotomayor will serve as a role model to all Latinos, especially those entering the legal profession, knowing that their own aspirations to serve our country in the highest positions of the judicial branch can be achieved." Women's groups also had effusive praise for Obama. They were pleased that he recognized the injustice of having but one woman on the court at a time when women constituted nearly half of American law school graduates and more than half of the nation's population. The president of Emily's List, Ellen R. Malcolm, noted that Judge Sotomayor will help add balance to the court and her unique perspective.